Hello and welcome to Cooking with Shani at 997 subscribers. Looking forward to 3 of you who are going to make it to 1000 subscribers on my channel. Thank you so much for your consistent effort and for watching my content. Today I'm doing a favorite all-time snack for many of you, beef samosas. This is easy to make and I am going to show you the simplest way to do it. It allows for easy cooking and I am going to use very natural ingredients. As you can see, the innermost part is fluffy and it is not oily. So please stay tuned and know how to prepare this amazing snack that could serve you best during this cold season. I will move straight to my ingredients, and before me I have 200 grams of minced beef. I also have 2 medium-sized onions diced. I am also having with me a bunch of coriander leaves chopped. I'm also having 1 green chilli chopped, 1 beef cube and a pinch of salt. If you don't like the beef cube, you can just add more salt. There is no harm to that. I just love my samosas totally mildly spiced. I also have 1.5 cups of wheat flour. I also have a jar of cooking oil that I'm going to use in the frying of my beef samosas. And with me I also have a cup of water that I'm going to use to mix my wheat flour to form my dough. So I will go straight to mixing my ingredients that I need for boiling my minced meat. I prefer boiling as opposed to frying my minced beef alongside my additives because boiling will allow for thorough cooking of my meat. This method also ensures that there is very minimal oil inside my beef samosas as opposed to frying. I'm also going to add just a little bit of water to aid in the boiling process. As you can notice, I have just added all the other ingredients that I had, except my coriander leaves that I will add later after the boiling process. I will let my minced beef simmer under low heat until all the water and the juices from the beef are completely dry. And meanwhile I am just going to prepare my dough that I am going to use to make my samosa wraps. I only need my flour and my water, no salt, no spices and no additives. So I'm going to make this into a very perfect dough before I begin my rolling process. And yeah, my meat is finally done. That's dried up so well. So I will keep this aside and go directly to begin forming my samosa wraps. I am going to break my dough into 3 equal shaped balls and roll them over. I am then going to roll each of these balls into mini chapatis, and I will begin layering up my mini chapatis. In between one chapati and the other, I am just going to add a layer of cooking oil and sprinkle on it some wheat flour before adding another layer of chapati to the initial layer. This is to help our wraps separate after we treat them with heat to translucency. You can actually do up to 4 layers of your mini chapatis to make 4 different layered wraps of your samosas. Don't you worry about the shapes because the edges are going to be trimmed away. Once you have layered up your mini chapatis, begin to expand your dough gently as wide as possible. If you are using a big kitchen surface, then you have an advantage. You can actually make very large circles and split this into 4 pieces, then hit quarter by quarter of a piece to form very good triangular wraps. But for me, because my space is limited, I am going to limit my circumference to the diameter of my rolling surface, and then I am going to trim my edges nicely with my pizza cutter. If you don't have a pizza cutter, you can just still use your knife. Then transfer this on a pan and heat until it is translucent, and you can actually see the edges begin to separate, forming the wraps. Ensure your dough is sitting well on your pan to avoid overspilling on the edges. Ensure you're also using medium heat. If you are using a very large diameter of dough, you could as well divide this into 4 pieces, but for us, we are going to make stripes of our samosa wraps, so this method becomes ideal for us today. 5 minutes later, I am having my beautiful translucent wraps, and I am going to separate these pieces, and I am then going to cut out the stripes that I need. Partial tearing is very normal in this process, so you will ensure you are cutting the strips to your advantage and avoiding the small tears around our samosa wraps. You can cut this into stripes or you can cut it into quarters. For me, I am doing the stripes, and any excess stripes that you may not use, please cover them in a cling film, wrap them with foil paper and store them in your freezer. They can be stored for up to a month so that you don't have to be remaking them every time you're making your samosas. I am then adding my chopped coriander leaves to my boiled minced meat, and I'm mixing everything, ready to stuff this into my wraps. Using my remaining flour and some water, I am just going to mix this into a paste that I'll be using to later wrap my samosas on the edges. And I am just going to teach you how I will be folding over my samosa wraps so that my samosas can fit in. But meanwhile, I can see this edge is thick, so I am using my tool to trim away any thick edges that could actually make my wraps look bulgy. This is not what we want. So straight away, I am just going to show you how to fold this kind of wrap, and I will begin by just showing you the pattern that we are going to follow in folding this wrap. So please observe carefully. I will then begin by stitching together this wrap. And the reason why I'm choosing these stripes is that when you make very light samosa wraps, this will act as a double wrap and your samosas will not bleed into your oil, or they will not burst or split in the cooking process. So this kind of provides a double layer protection, especially for those just beginning to learn how to make the samosas. It's now time to stuff my meat into my samosa, and I'm just going to use my spoon, and I'll take a spoonful of my beef and add it into my pocket that I just made. And I'm going to use the back of my spoon to ensure I am stuffing my minced beef into the farthest corner of my pocket before trying to add some more minced beef. Otherwise, you will find yourself having a lot of beef just near the flap and nothing at all at the tip of your samosa on the other end. So we will do this and wrap as well, and cover the wraps with our dough paste that we made. If the flaps are too big, ensure you're trimming them away. But again, you better have bigger flaps than smaller flaps. So you will trim these to the shape that you want, the shape that you actually like. So for me, my first samosa is ready, and I'm going to do this process for subsequent samosas until I am done with every piece. This meat has been able to give me 5 samosas. I mean, are you seeing what I'm saying? Look at these beautiful pieces. You can fry them right away, and if you don't want to fry them, you can just cover them with a cling film and store this in your fridge, maybe to fry later within the day or within 2 to 3 days. Any other time more than 3 days, please put your samosas in your freezer to avoid any processing. For me, I am going to fry my samosas right away because I'm actually hungry, you know. So I'm just going to check if my oil is ready, and I'm going to drop my samosas in here for a good fry and a medium heat. And once they are browned up, I am just going to take them out of the oil and give myself a serving. Once your samosas have turned golden brown, you can now take them out of the oil, and hip hip hooray! It's time to enjoy my samosas. I'm actually garnishing them with lemon slices, and if you love sour things, please just use 1 piece of lemon to squeeze inside your samosa to get that good sour taste. And I'm actually going to show you how the inside looks like. As you can see, it is very nicely done. We just have coriander, onion, a bit of salt, and my meat. No extra spices that will give you a lot of heartburns. This is very healthy actually. I can't have enough of this. So I really hope you've learned something new today. Please remember to give my video a like and to subscribe if you have not. Most of all, share and comment. I wish you a lovely weekend. Please try this out and give me your feedback. Enjoy your evening.